Hello and welcome to this new exciting little mini series that we got going on Far Side of the Pod. This is our theme park edition. So welcome to this new little thing that we're going to be trying out. Hopefully we can get a few good little episodes going on. But I am your host of this new little thing for once. I am Ridge Monroe. Joined with me, as always, is Jordan Slater.
What it is, what's up?
Alrighty. Slater, before we get started, would you like to give us a little bit of a background on our normal podcast and what's going on?
Yeah. So as y'all know, we haven't posted a podcast in a couple weeks, and we were supposed to release this video last week, but we all got a little sidetracked, and the Oscars are last week, and that's something that we always do in my household. So we had, I had to do that with my wife, but this week, some family matters came up with Mikey, and we told him, we want him to, rather let him be with his family and everything, but instead of being on the podcast. And next episode of the podcast is our 25th episode, so we're planning to do something a little special on that, so keep an eye out for it. But next week we'll for sure get to that. But we just want to make sure that all hands are on deck and everybody's here so we can have a good time and put out a good 25th anniversary episode. Well, anniversary as in 25th episode. But either way, that's what's been going on. Just some family matters and just us being goofy at points. But we're here now, and this is going to be technically our video for the week. So to our average listeners, we apologize that we haven't released anything in a couple weeks, but promise you that we'll be back on track and we'll be releasing good content soon. And also, just to throw it out there before we get out there, just keep an eye out a couple weeks. Me and Kay will be posting vlogs and stuff like that for Horror Hound in Cincinnati, so keep an eye out on that. But either way, that's just been the ups on us, and yeah, Ridge, go ahead and let's get back into this episode.
Well, it will be like a little anniversary for us. We made it 25 episodes in.
Yeah.
I can't remember when we started, but it feels like it's already been a year. So,
It
and
was August was when we started.
so we're coming up on it. But we still
Yeah.
got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
But our thoughts also do go out with Mikey and his family
Yeah. Of
and
course.
everything that's going on. All right, so let's dive into this, shall we? So for our first topic of today is Epic Universe. It's about to open up. It is set to open up May 22nd of this year with 5 immersive worlds. We got Celestial Park, Super Nintendo World, Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, How to Train Your Dragon, and of course, Dark Universe. Slater,
Yeah.
what rides out of those 5 places is there any rides that you're looking forward to? I know you and me both are looking forward to Dark Universe, obviously. We'll dive
Yeah.
into Dark Universe later because I'm sure we'll spend some time on there or in that place in of itself. But in general, every single place, is there something you're looking forward to or only in one spot?
I mean,
Give me some input.
I'm super excited. The one thing, I'm gonna just say my stuff besides Dark Universe, because like you said, that's the part I'm like the most excited about. But besides that, I mean, I'm really excited to see what the Ministry of Magic looks like. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to see how the How to Train Your Dragon area looks, and I'm super stoked to see how the Mario Land turns out. And I've seen overhead pictures, and I've seen what it looks like, and it pretty much just looks like the Japan version of it. But still, either way, I'm excited to see it in person at least.
Right.
Just in general, I'm excited for this whole park. I mean, it's a new Universal park and something that we've been keeping up with ever since they've announced it. So it's, I'm just stoked about the whole thing, and it's definitely one of those things. If I'm going to Universal, like next time I'm going to Universal, if I don't go to Epic Universe, I'll be pretty pissed off. Unless it's only for HHN. Like if it's only for HHN, I'd understand. But
I mean, between the pricing on trying to go there
oh yeah,
and
for us,
everything,
For us who live 2 states away and pretty much 10 hours away, it's a little difficult for us. But that's why I said,
Well,
when we make it down there, we better be going there.
let's put it like this: for people that can't always afford to spend money on going on big vacations every single year, it's a little bit harder to try to make it into certain places like going to Epic Universe, because we might want to go Epic Universe, but at the same time we're also there for HHN,
Right.
and the pricing on both of those as is a thing all in of itself, and it's almost hard for me to not just want to absolutely go into every single park.
Oh yeah, it's
because I am a park head. So, and I mean, Universal is just a great place to go, especially not really for little kids, but once you get to a certain age as a kid, and especially in your teen years, definitely a great place to go to. But with the Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, I'm pretty sure it's funny because that was originally supposed to be just Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I believe.
Yeah, because
that was like the main thing for it.
Because they built the whole Paris or something like that from the movie.
but since the movies had died down and didn't do as great on the last movie, I'm pretty sure that's what made them lean more so into strictly the Ministry of Magic side. I will tell you, the main thing I am looking forward to with that is being able to go through the the flume. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, where
the fireplaces.
The fireplace, yeah. Just make sure
where you can go in.
Just make sure you say it right.
Make sure you say it clearly, so that way you're not coming in diagonally. So, I mean, let's say with Celestial Park, I'm looking forward to that carousel that they've built.
Oh yeah.
I know that's very like the Celestial Park is the calmer section. It's like the main hub of it all. Yeah. That, and of course Stardust Racers, I believe is what it's called. The twin roller coaster that race each other. That looks thrilling.
Cool.
And
yeah, that's cool.
I love thrill rides, but I'm also really looking forward to what they're about to be doing with this carousel, because from what I hear, it's not one that just goes in a straight circle. It's like these animals that you're riding like dance around, like you're going into different circles and things. Oh, so cool. I think that's going to be really cool.
Is that what that big dome thing is? Like
right there in the dead center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And then for Super Nintendo World, I think the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is the Donkey Kong coaster.
Oh yeah, I mean mainly just because the Mario Kart ride is the same exact ride from Japan, so it's just.
Well, I mean, so is the Donkey Kong ride.
Oh, is it?
They just now opened that up.
Okay, my bad.
But my only issue with that I'm having slightly as of now, not have ridden it. Okay, so let's put that out there. Just the idea of only putting on glasses and sitting in front of a screen to make it seem like you're building up speed. I mean, they have a lot of rides that already do that at Universal Studios, so this is just another version of that.
Right.
It might be a little bit more immersive with the glasses that they give you, because I think like they're more so like VR style or something like that.
Yeah.
Augmented reality stuff. So, I don't know. I'm just not looking forward to that as much as I am this Donkey Kong coaster, especially considering the fact of how they built the track to make it look like you're riding on, you're going to be flying over things. You're getting shot out of the cannon.
Yeah.
Going over spikes, riding across water. A lot of cool effects, I think, are going to be taking place, and it's going to really look good.
If you played Donkey Kong Country, you know what we're about to get into with it. So it's like, it's pretty exciting. Like you said, the whole, the environment of the ride and everything. That's that's not a lot of rides recently. It's like have had the not the greatest of environment around it. Like, yeah, you can have a cool theming and all that, but it's like, think of Hagrid, right? Hagrid,
Yeah.
the environment that it builds around the roller coaster. It's not just about the ride, but like honestly, most of the Harry Potter stuff, Harry Potter, the Hagrid ride, then the ride that's in Hogwarts itself, then it's straight from Gringotts, and they build a whole universe around it. It's kind of like how the Mummy is. Like, it's not just a theme; it's an environment around it.
And this is for any one of the parks, especially even in the queue.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, to me, that's the reason why I enjoy visiting places like Universal and Disney World, is because even their queues are immersive and can tell a story more so. Don't get me wrong, some of our local parks do, like Dollywood slightly does. We'll get into that into a later on episode. But with like Universal Studios, like, they make it to where like you almost play games with the line, and you can actually get immersive with what's going on, and it tells a story and it flows into the ride. So it's really nice to me. I really enjoy that, especially considering the fact that sometimes you can spend almost like 2 or 3 hours in those lines. Let's see here, and then How to Train Your Dragon. Let's see here. For me, I think the two biggest things I'm looking forward to in the How to Train Your Dragon immersive world, or however you want to say it, is I'm looking forward to the meat hall.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to the meat hall.
What's crazy, like, thinking about, we're thinking about all the rides and everything, but one thing that I'm like super stoked to try out is some of these dining areas. Like,
the foods,
dude,
the foods look incredible.
We'll get to my most wanted one here soon, but like, just every single land has like a special dining area, and I at least want to try one when we get to go. So now I know which one I want to try, but yeah.
So for me, that's a big thing, and I also am looking forward to the show that they're going to be doing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it's supposed to be the same as some of the stage plays that you see done of it, where they had the giant puppets in there of the dragons.
Yeah, cool.
So I think that's going to be real cool. And also, if I'm not mistaken, in How to Train Your Dragon, they're going to have, I don't know the right way to say it, dragons that are, or drones of dragons, dragon drones, where it's a dragon that's going to be flying around from time to time, but it's a drone that's flying it. But like, the wings move, its head moves, so that way it looks like a dragons are actually flying above us in this world.
So it's gonna be like an animatronic that's controlled by a drone, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. But dragon drone.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's really sick.
Yeah, I know that they have a launch roller coaster in there that's going to be kind of cool. It looks like.
Yeah.
Every ride in every single part of this park looks incredible.
Yeah.
My only slight, well, I guess it's not really a concern. I'm curious on how many downtimes they're going to have as soon as they first open up. You reckon that's going to be a big thing, or you think that'll be at minimal?
I think, of course there's going to be some, but my real thought on it is they're already doing previews for cast members.
Yeah.
So, them doing the previews 2 months in advance, that gives them time to nip the bad things in the bud and everything. Like, I haven't heard anything about the ride that's in the Ministry of Magic, because from what I heard, that they've kept it down to make sure, like, because I guess they found some early problems on it, so they're already working on it. And that's the reason. Of course, that's the reason why we get, the cast members get the previews for testing. But, I'm glad that they're already doing it 2 months in advance. That way they'll have time to fix these problems when they find them. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have some the day of, and later on, but at least they're taking the time to see if they can catch anything early. That way, it can be smooth sailing as it can possibly be on opening day.
I think that they'll have it pretty well.
Yeah,
Catch. I'm sure we'll have a few hiccups here and there, but I don't think it's going to be too terribly bad.
no,
Um,
I don't think so either.
So with those parts out the way, I'm going to dive into something completely not the last part, because I just want to go ahead and get this out the way because we won't talk about this as much. So off topic for a second, but still in Epic Universe, is that there are 3 hotels that are opening up. One's already open, and that is the Stella Nova, the Terra Luna, and the Grand Helios hotels.
Right.
That are coming to a park, and the Grand Helios is actually attached to the back of Epic Universe, or according to which way you come in, I guess it'd be the front.
Right. Is that
But it's technically the back.
Is that big building that's in the middle of like in the opening?
It's the big building like in the very back
Right.
of the park that you see. Yeah, that's Grand Helios. It has up in that golden dome has I believe like a rooftop bar or a restaurant that's attached to it. So it's really cool. From what I've heard, the Stella Nova has had some hiccups. Hopefully all those are fixed by the time, Epic Universe opens up. I think Terra Luna is going to be opening up with the park. Don't quote me on it. There are other better known YouTubers out there with this information. Like Theme Park Stop is probably the best one whenever it comes to the news and wanting to see everything on how it's going on. I would definitely go check those guys out because, like I said, they do a really great job with that. But I just want to go ahead and mention those to get them out of the way before we dive into our last immersive world in Epic Universe, and that is the one and only Dark Universe. Yes, Slater, what are your thoughts on Dark Universe? What are you looking forward to, food-wise, ride-wise?
I mean,
experience-wise.
I mean, if you guys listen to our podcast, or if you know us personally, we're big horror movie people. At least you know that I'm a massive horror movie person, and we've gone to Universal at least 3 times to HHN, and Universal Monsters are always a big part of it. And I'm glad that we're finally getting an area specifically for them to have their moment. I have heard from these, cast previews and testing and all that jazz, I've heard nothing but great things about Epic Universe, but people are raving about how great Dark Universe is. And people are raving about how insanely good that Frankenstein's Manor ride is.
The Monsters Unchained.
Yeah, they're saying that it's insane. And, of course, when we heard about that ride and heard about the animatronics that are going to be on that thing, of course we're like, oh God, we got to be a part of that, So that's number 1 on my list with the place, because that's it, Also, just the environment that they built for it. I'm excited just for the ambiance and the way it looks and everything. That's one thing I love about Universal Studios, is that each part of the park that is supposed to be a different designated area looks like what it's supposed to. Whether you're in, regular Universal Studios Orlando, where it looks like New York, and then eventually turn into Simpsons Land, or, whatever, King's Cross, all that jazz. But, but even in Island of Adventure, all the different spots they have there. But I'm just excited for the ambiance, and of course, when it comes to food, I don't know what they're going to call it, but the big windmill that's on fire.
The Burning Blade Tavern.
Yeah, dude, like, who doesn't want to eat in the windmill that's on fire? Like, that's awesome, dude. I want to see it, and I want to eat there. Like, I think it'd be an awesome experience. But, you know, I'm just excited for the vibes, the spooky vibes, and I'm sure when it comes to October time, they'll amp it up a little bit on the spookiness. And I'm just excited to see what's there. Like, that's my main thing about excited for the whole dang park is just being there in the environment, the vibes, just be in awe of how beautiful it's gonna look, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm excited to see it all, really.
Right. Listen, in general, just go back to the Burning Blade Tavern. They have figured out the perfect way to have a windmill on an X amount of times, just like how the dragon does in the Harry Potter world, or one of the Harry Potter worlds.
Yeah, Diagon Alley.
They have it set to where it can time off and go off and burn at a perfect amount, so that way it's not smoking up the place or anything. And they've worked out the kinks for the right chemicals to be in it, and to where it's going to be burning, and you'll see it great at daytime, and you'll see it even better at nighttime. And honestly, that's the one world that I'm going to probably hold off until it gets to sunset at least before I go in there to experience it.
Oh yeah,
because I want to see all that at nighttime.
Yeah, that's, you know, like you bringing up with the sunset and everything. When I'm talking about ambiance and the vibes of it, because yeah, when we go through the day, it's going to be cool, but going through it, you know, sunset to nighttime, that's going to be, you know, a whole different vibe. Especially if we go around October time for HHN or whatever, that's going to be immaculate, you know.
Go to Epic Universe only to go into dark, into the dark universe, and then after that, all right, we're done.
Knowing us, we would.
That I would not put it past us at all. No. And then, you know, that one of the rides I'm looking forward to as well is, you mentioned the Monsters Unchained, but also the Cursed Werewolf.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about the Wolfman.
That Curse of Werewolf, so it's called. Excuse me.
Okay.
I mean, it looks amazing. It's a swing back and forth coaster concept, pretty much. And what's going to happen is you're going to go back and forth and get to come face to face with the werewolf or Wolfman. I think it's just a werewolf. I think Wolfman is inside Monsters Unleashed or Unchained.
He is.
But just in the ride system for that coaster will occasionally spin around.
Yeah.
It's a spinning coaster. It's you get to pass by the werewolf. According to what I heard in the queue, there'll be a immersive character that will talk to you. It's either animatronic or a real person. I'm not 100% sure. If I had to wild guess it for the first little bit, they'll actually have an actual actor right there acting as this person. And then later on throughout the years, or
they can add
even throughout the months, they'll probably change it. Well, I wouldn't say hologram, but I'd say they'll change it to animatronic.
Right. I was just
unless that's what they run with.
It could be an actual person, because they could have something kind of like how, you know, like Fast and Furious has, where it's like somebody that's supposed to be with the family and like trying to help you guide through it. And same thing with like, it's just gonna have a immersive one.
Don't get me started on. We'll get to that in of itself on another time, I'm sure, or here shortly.
Right.
Something I forget to mention too, and this is a small little subtle cool thing that they're going to do, is in the middle of this dark universe, they're going to have a well.
Ooh,
that spits out red fog.
that's crazy.
So it'll be like bloody looking fog, I guess, or something. It's going to look really cool, I think.
That'd be awesome. Instead of like a fountain, just like a well that's just pouring out red fog.
Yep.
That's cool.
And of course, with the Monsters Unchained ride, it is absolutely incredible looking from what I've seen of the animatronics.
Oh yeah.
I've seen video on TikTok of one of the heads over going planning or something that had walked in and showed just the first little bit of the inside of the manor, and it just looks terrific. Even from the pictures that you see from watching like Theme Park Stop, or if you follow on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, BioReconstruct, he always gets real good pictures of Epic Universe. And that whole castle or manor looks incredible. And I can only imagine that this ride's going to have a little bit more of a jump scare factor than the one that's over at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Inside the castle, because that one, I gotta admit, it'll catch you off guard occasionally whenever you have the Dementors flying at you, you have a spider flying or right near you.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
I mean, I think it's gonna be crazy. And I know that, like I said, the animatronics look really good.
Yeah.
Something that I absolutely think that they need to do this year, and we haven't heard anything yet, or we've heard rumors about HHN.
Yeah.
But one thing I really think they need to do this year at HHN is they need to incorporate something from this universe into a scare zone or a house.
Yeah.
Over at the main Universal Studio Park.
Yeah.
And have that be like a little mini story, so that way if somebody's not there to go to Epic Universe and was only there for HHN, it's like, hey, this is a part to that, so this will make you want to go check out that. I think that'd be a really cool thing to do. I mean, it's kind of like with how you have, I'm not 100% sure on its release date, but you have the live action How to Train Your Dragon coming out here shortly.
I think it's in July.
Okay, so that'll be like a little bit after
Yeah, a couple
Epic
months
Universe opens. So, but that definitely, that kind of correlates at good timing too.
Well, it's actually a month. It's actually a little less than a month after it opens. The movie comes out June 13th, so it'll be prime.
Okay, so
prime time,
it'll be. Yeah, it'll be, I mean, just right there at the best timing for that, too.
Oh, yeah.
But back over to Dark Universe, the one place that I want to eat at is Das Steakhouse.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's the vampire themed, like you're in the or right beside the underworld or something like that, but it's all vampire themed. And I find that insane. And the theming looks great on the inside of it because it looks like a cavern type deal, like the basement to like Dracula's castle or Nosferatu's castle, and it looks like, I'm looking at a photo of it right now. It looks like there's little gravestones, like the gravestones that have like just a placard up on the wall.
Yeah.
Up against the wall. Yeah, that's what it looks like, because it looks like it just has like a couple of names here and there that are stacked up. Looks really cool. I really like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to Dark Universe and every single one of the parks in general. I'm really looking forward to this park, seeing what it has to offer. Hopefully get to do almost everything. I know it's hard to do everything whenever you go to a park in general, but try to knock out the stuff that is like at the top on my list. I think the only one thing I will say, and this is going to be a running theme with this little mini series, is for the love of God, can we figure out, just for my boy Slater here, can we figure out how to get big people on coasters?
Yes, dude. That's the thing, and you know, it's an avid thing for it to be overlooked, because not the majority of the people that's coming to get on these rides are going to be my size. But the thing is like, can't we, like, in the middle of the ride, or even in the back of the damn ride, can't we have, like, where it's only like 2 or 3 bigger seats compared to the
fucking big and tall section?
Right, like, it's like, you know, if it's about, you know, the amount of people, the amount weight distribution on the coaster, you know what I mean? Like, why don't we just have a few sections where it's a couple bigger seats for people like my size, like 3 seats compared to 5, or just something like that. That way you can get around and please your customer fan base that is bigger people. It's just
please like, every single person that's going to come to your parks.
Right, and
don't get me wrong, everybody can throw around the saying, well, why don't you just lose weight? Why don't you just do this? Well, do this and they'll fix that. It's not easy for everybody, all right, first off.
It's not as easy as you think. As somebody who's, you know, ever since high school, who, even when I do diets and work out and everything, I just somehow still gain weight. Or I would just somehow just continue to gain weight. So, but it's just like, on that topic, parks in general, you look at Disney, we have rides that I can ride, but I can't ride roller coasters. And that's the thing, is I love roller coasters and I would love to ride these things. I've not been able to ride Gringotts. I've not been able to ride any roller coaster at Universal. The only thing I get to ride at Universal is the 3D rides or the water rides. And those, I love those, and I will, you know, cherish those. For that reason, I still would like to ride these crazy, insane rides. Like, yeah, I know I'm not going to really be able to ride the Monsters Unchained and everything because of that reason. But, you know, at least I'll be able to see it. Because that's the thing. And even if y'all don't change it, it's not like I'm not still going to be coming. But, you know, at least appeal to the fan base that can't ride these rides because how small these seats are. And I don't know how if this part of the message will get to anybody, but parks in general need to look into possibly tending to that. Though it's not a big part of your fan base, but at least appeal to us, man. I mean, I want to ride all these rides.
I mean, if they can figure out, first off, math goes into these coasters and engineering goes into these fucking coasters. It's not me and you putting them up, right?
Right.
So what's so hard to have at least one train that is built to hold somebody that might be a little bit bigger? Right. You can still run your 2 to 3 trains or however many trains you run, but have one that's slightly, you know, built different, so that way people that are, for the fun saying of it, built different,
yeah,
can actually still get on. I mean, if you look at certain rides, like, let's say, I don't know if they do it at Universal Studios or not, but I know that they do at Disney because I've been held up on these rides before. But, you know, there's certain rides, like boat rides and things at Disney World, where they have them accommodated to fit somebody that, you know, has a special need or has a issue. Now, don't get me wrong, you can't just if you figure it out, that'd be cool as hell, but you can't just lock down a wheelchair on a roller coaster.
Right, right.
Don't get me wrong, that'd be cool as shit if you could. I mean, it'd be funny and cool all at the same time. And there's a way you could do that too.
I'm sure there's a way.
But just what I'm getting at is it's 2025.
Yeah.
How the fuck and what the fuck is it that we can't figure out on how to get a small population, like you said, it's not a big fan base, but it is a fan base, of bigger people that can't get on rides, why can't we figure out a way to make a coaster or a couple of rides? It don't have to be every single ride,
No.
but a couple of them,
Like,
so that way they can say that they've done it.
Like if we get told that they can't do that on big ergonomic coasters because of all the flips and all that, and it can mess it up, I would understand that. But we're still not given a logical explanation on why. Like, just think about this in general. Think if it's a 5-cart ride or a 4-cart ride, right? If it's a 5-cart ride, why not take 3 bigger seats? That way, I mean, think about it. I'm going to probably weigh twice as much as a normal teenager that's going to get on that ride, right? So it's like, why does, that one seat that I sit in the back can differentiate on that if that's the problem? But if the weight distribution isn't a problem, like Rich said, it's 2025. Why haven't we built something or added on something to these roller coasters? Whether or not it's bench seats,
whether it's in the back or in the middle, even with a looping coaster, right?
Even if I would have to wait another 30 minutes to an hour just to ride a specific cart for that, I would, because it would get at least I'd still be guaranteed to be able to ride the ride.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong. I do appreciate whenever, like, Universal and places will tell you before you go start to walk into that queue, hey, just figure out, let you know, you're probably not going to be able to ride the ride.
Right, yeah.
But we'll still let you walk through this queue, and you just tell them at the end you're just here to experience the queue and everything.
Yeah.
And then, they'll still let you walk through. But, that's only half the experience. What's the issues here? I would love to talk to a professional that's been doing this shit for years to figure out why we haven't tried to figure this part out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know it's a small portion, probably, compared to everything, but you're making that many more people happy and that many more people excited to try, and that many more people wanting to go on a ride, right?
Right.
So, but anyways, that was just a little side note that I wanted to go ahead and throw out there, because that's just something that's going to be a running theme for our little mini series right here while talking about theme parks. But figure out how to make big people ride rides.
Yeah, and before, like Rich said earlier, before you start saying, hey, just lose weight, man, I ain't been able to ride a fucking roller coaster since high school, so shut the fuck up. I've had all this time to lose it, and I've tried, but guess what? Shit happens.
And not everybody can afford to get fucking surgery done to lose the weight surgically.
And the surgery isn't always the best option. People can die off that shit if they do it right.
So, I mean, it's just, shit happens. And, let's try to, with some, you ain't got to with all, but let's try with a couple of rides here and there. And if you're a professional out there that randomly decides to listen to this, which I doubt, but if so, hello, welcome. Hope you hit that like, subscribe button for us and share it out with your friends. Just grab their phone, and put us in, and then have their friends do it to someone else. And just keep on doing that exact same thing over and over again till we are out there to everyone. If, like I said, though, if there is somebody out there that is a professional in this, I would love to get explanations behind this. I'd love to be able to talk this through, try to help out a stupid boy figure out, what the bigger picture is.
And the thing is we're not saying it to be, like, petty. Like, we're, like, I generally want to know, like, hey, if there is a scientific or, like, an ergonomical reason on why there can't be bigger seats for bigger people, and there's a good
why you can't build a new ride.
Yeah, if you can explain that on the logical reason, cool, I understand. But if not, what the fuck are y'all doing? I mean, I get people hate fat people, but damn.
Well, I mean, the NFL loves fat guys.
Oh yeah, well, I mean that's
But
that's the majority of their fan base.
again, that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you'd like to throw out on Dark, or I almost said only Dark Universe, on Epic Universe, or
No, I think
anything?
I think I'm all good.
All right. So with that down and out of the way, let's go into our last topic for today, which, it's only two topics, but we try to break it up so that way we can have more than just one of these little mini episodes for you.
And we're sticking with Universal. Like, I guess, Rich probably could have told you this, but I guess for each video, we're pretty much going to try to stick to a part per video. Usually, just so we're not, because if we told you all about it in one video, it'd be a short series. So
It'd be the one video, and that's all you get of it. All right, I want to outspan this because we'll get into that here shortly, and I'll explain more at the end.
If we become theme park influencers, I'm all down for it. Send us some media invites to HHN, for the love of God.
Don't mind at all if that was to magically happen.
We'll take a paid for hotel room too.
All right, now. Baby steps. All right. So, back on topic here and to our last topic. So, Slayer, let me hit you with this question, and then I'll get into mine after you get through yours. If we was let's say we was in charge of Universal Studios, right?
Right.
What ride would you want to replace in Universal Studios? Give me the why you would want to replace it, first off, and then what would you be replacing it with?
Okay. I feel like I don't want to do something obvious, like something like stuff that's already like in talks, Like I don't want to like how like Rocket Rip Ride Rocket's going out, and it talks about the Simpsons being changed to something else or something like that.
I was going to say, we already discussed about Rip Ride Rocket, I think, on episode 20.
Yeah, one of those.
We can dive into, what you would want to replace Simpsons with. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You can absolutely do that, or, one of something that's already been talked about. But, because it's not set in stone yet as to what's going to go right there.
Right. Okay, so, I'm going to do two, okay? I'm going to do one for Island of Adventure, I'm going to do one for Universal Studios. Just because I can't choose between the two.
You're good.
I think my big one for Universal Studios, I don't think I would replace anything, but the thing I would do is I would bring back something. I would think a new and technologically more advanced Jaws ride would be awesome. Just because, I mean, besides like Return of the Mummy, which is an older ride, and all that, we don't have much of the original rides left. I mean, Men in Black and E.T., different stuff like that, like stuff that was big about the park when it first opened, and Jaws to me that's the one thing that I wish that I could have experienced all the times that we go. I mean, we see the pond every time we go there, but no, there's no shark in it or whatever. You can still see the tracks in it too, which is cool. But I just think they could take out. I mean, they're talking about getting rid of Fast and Furious anyways, right?
Yeah.
What if they took that out and expanded the pond and made it a little bigger or something? I mean, they probably couldn't because with King's Cross right there. But either way, like just something like that. Do something where we can make the pond a little bigger or something, and make, like, with how advanced these animatronics are now, we can find a new animatronic for Bruce. And I just think it would be awesome and make it almost exactly like the original one, but add extra things to make it look cooler and more, advanced looking. I just think it would bring an original ride back. It would bring that love back to it for people who grew up in the original studios. Everything, it's just a little love note, I guess you could say. It's a love note for the originals, but also cool for the new people as well. I think that would be awesome. And
Can I help you collaborate on that for a second?
yeah, of course.
Because I've had this idea kind of too on how could we bring back Jaws
Right.
and also get rid of Fast and Furious ride, because that's one of the rides that, to be honest, I would love to see go to. What to put in its place though, I got plenty of different ideas, but to kind of collab off that idea. So what if, and maybe you can do it in the same footprint too, because that is a really big building. I'm pretty sure it took over like 3 different other things
Well, you got to think
in that spot.
it used to be 3 different rides in that one spot.
Yeah, you had a show and 2 rides, I think. You had the Beetlejuice.
But you also had a Confrontation. You had Earthquake.
Confrontation didn't sit there, I don't think.
I thought they were right there beside each other.
I think it was because you had the Beetlejuice review or whatever it was, Twisters, the Twister Experience ride, and Disaster. Because I think Disaster took over the no.
Well,
Either does
was it Twister where Jimmy Fallon was?
No, Twister wasn't over there on that side of the park, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think Jimmy Fallon sat by itself.
Okay.
Or that was a brand new thing that also needs to get replaced.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon needs to go. I love Jimmy, but yeah, we need something.
I love him, but that ride just ain't doing it for us.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it sat back there in that same footprint, but I think it was either Disaster or it was something near the Mummy and Disaster. It took over Confrontation because that building burnt down or something on the inside.
Yeah.
But anyways, so with this big ass footprint that we got, my idea is we do a boat ride. You know, like an indoor boat ride, like you see at Disney World.
Yeah.
But you do the boat ride like you remember the great movie ride that you used to have at Hollywood Studios?
Yeah, yeah.
You do pretty much the Universal Studios version of that in a boat ride. And one of the big things is you go into a scene of Jaws. And you can have an animatronic, show like a little quick animatronic thing right there or something. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, bro.
That way you could fit that in if like any other old rides, like you could bring in a Back to the Future scene too. So that way that brings Back to the Future as well.
Bro, I was so wrong. Well, I'm sorry for interrupting on that.
No, you good.
So I just pulled up the original map, right, for Universal Studios. Oh, yeah, it was like the original map. And Jaws was like, it wasn't even on the lagoon.
No, Jaws didn't sit in the main lake lagoon.
I always thought it did. It's in that back corner where that stage is that they do like the shows at.
No, it sits over at it sat over at where Gringotts is at, or that area.
Yeah, that area. That makes sense. Yeah, you're right.
That's where it sits up.
But like,
yeah, yeah. It's that whole footprint of that area got torn down and replaced with Harry Potter.
Okay.
I thought about telling that earlier, but I was just letting you go with the flow on that.
Yeah, and you're right. It was just Beetlejuice and Earthquake that was over there.
Was the Twister not right there?
No, Twister was. Dang, Twister. You know where they have like the tribute store and everything?
Yeah.
That's where they had Twister. It was like right there.
Good grief.
That's weird.
We-
Sorry for getting
as
off on
you
that, guys, but hey, you know,
as you can tell, we don't fully know our shit on Universal Studios, and we're still learning.
I mean, we
So
know. I mean,
forgive us.
just about the original layout now. I mean, we know a lot about Universal Studios, but not like the original Universal Studios.
It's been a long time since I went to original Universal Studios. Or I slightly remember Jaws as a kid. I never rode it, but I remember I was going to brave up and ride it. But as soon as I was about ready to ride it, it came piss pouring rain,
Uh,
so we couldn't ride it. So I missed out on getting to ride Jaws. I've seen videos of it multiple times.
oh
Though.
yeah, oh yeah.
So but that's my reasoning of being able to bring back some of these older rides, like having a Jaws scene, a Back to the Future scene,
Yeah.
and you're in a boat already going through here.
I mean, honestly, think about it. Well, they could do like just like a 4D ride, right? Like take out Fast and Furious and build like a 4D ride, or no, actually, fuck it. Replace
No,
the
I
Simpsons
won't.
ride. Replace the Simpsons ride, right? Technically upgrade it, but hear me out. Just hear me out on this. And instead of like actually doing a whole Jaws thing in a boat ride, why can't we just do like a 4D ride where it's like Universal Past or whatever, and it's like we can have bits of the original Back to the Future ride in it, and have a Jaws moment, have a King Kong moment, have an earthquake moment, and be able to feel and everything, all of that in a 4D in a 4D cart, and
Oh,
like I said,
okay.
boat ride would be cool. I just think that all that just smacked me in the face. I think that'd be awesome.
I'm going to slightly argue back on this.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm tired of 4D rides.
I understand.
We got plenty of them. B, Back to the Future used to sit right there at The Simpsons.
Right,
So
yeah.
pretty much you're just redoing the exact same thing.
Right.
It'd be weird as hell to be up in the air with the same... If you use the same layout as what The Simpsons is now,
Yeah.
and what the Back to the Future was, it's an odd layout to have a ride that is supposed to include Jaws.
I'll give you
You
that.
might
I'll give you
you
that.
might as well say you're watching Sharknado.
Yeah.
Even though hilariously enough, I think it was Sharknado 3 took place, or a part of it took place at Universal Studios. Because like the Sharknado went and tore through Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of funny. So those are kind of my arguments against that as to why I don't want to go back down that route.
I definitely understand
Also,
that. I'm just saying, what if? Like, I mean, it'd be. I think it just if they, say they got it and they worked on it and everything and like fixed it around. Well, like, what if they made it something like how Transformers is, right? Like, what if they took it down and they built another building, and how Transformers is like a 4D ride, but it moves on a crane, right, or like on a track.
again, I'm tired of the 4D rides.
I'll give you that.
We got plenty enough of them. Let's go to something classical
Yeah.
with the boat ride. And it makes it more immersive for whenever you go into the Jaws part of the ride. Jaws can pop up right there beside the boat, and instead of it being like the same ones that you got on in the old Jaws ride, these things don't have the tops over them, right? So
Right.
that to me, that's the way to go with that, is bring back some old classic rides, or bring back a little different things, or different classic movies, if you will. It don't have to be classic rides, but just have a boat version of the Great Movie Ride, since that ride's gone from Hollywood Studios.
Now, for my Island of Adventure one, right? And we've talked about this a little bit on a previous episode. But instead of a ride, because I can't just pick one ride, I just think they need to get rid of the Marvel section of Island of Adventure. And the only reason I say that is one, it's kind of confusing because Universal having Marvel and not Disney is just weird. But like, we've talked about it so many times, and I think it's just a super good idea. That area of Marvel, and what's that Nets park that's right beside it? Well, the Nets park.
And Lagoon.
They take those out and they make a fucking Wizard of Oz part. And
Wizard of Oz or Wicked?
yeah, I mean either. Well, that's what I'm meaning is that universe, the Oz universe.
I was about to say you just mix the two.
But like, make it the Yellow Brick Road, and you can have like a Wicked Witch ride or something like that, and like the Red Brick Road can lead down to it because it's always like a theory that the Red Brick Road led straight to the Wicked Witch's place or whatever. But either way, I mean, you don't even have to. The only thing you have to do with the Hulk is change the name. And like Rich said before in the past, instead of him roaring, take from Rip Ride Rocket to where it's playing Defying Gravity and call it Wicked Defying Gravity. Or just Defying Gravity in general. Then you can like change the water ride in Toon Lagoon to the Shiz boat ride. Or like, there's so many things that you could do with the Oz universe in that part. I think it would just be fantastic. You can, leave out one ride or two, and you can build a stage to have a Wizard of Oz show. And I just think it would be awesome. I think it would make Islands of Adventure's value go even more than it already is.
Spider, damn it, you stole what I was going to use.
But that's the thing.
I knew. As soon as you said something about Marvel, I said, "You son of a bitch, you're going to do what I was going to do."
Well, it's just like that's the only thing I can really think about Island of Adventure. I think it would be so, with how popular Wicked is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just Wicked and the Land of Oz and the whole both sides of it. Yeah, I agree 100%.
And it would just be money, dude. Like, y'all would make so much money, and
all right,
it would just be nuts.
I'm going to collab with you on this one again too, and then I have to figure out what I'm going to do from. Well, I guess I'm going to come up with two off the spot if I can. So I'm going to help you on this one too because I actually had this shit typed out weeks ago,
right?
Over this. All right, so you are 100% on par with changing the Hulk coaster into a Defying Gravity coaster. Because I mean, it's already green. Just repaint the little white parts into gold or something, maybe, or just paint it all completely green, and you can theme that whole little show building that you come out of as Oz, right? Have it being the Great Palace of Oz or whatever it's called.
Imagine if they like had that showroom be like the scene from Wicked, where like it seems like somebody's coming after you, like the authorities are coming after you, and you riding the ride is that whole scene. You know what I mean? That would be pretty cool. It would make it it would make it immersive as shit.
The way I always seen it is whenever you go to launch out of the coaster, you launch out to the part of the song Defying Gravity of It's Me.
Yeah.
And you just blast through and start flying. Like, I don't think you even have to change the cart to make it look like you're riding on a broomstick or anything. That'd be kind of weird.
No.
But it'd definitely be cool. And you could have audio playing while you're riding through of like the rest of the song, maybe. I don't know if you could make that 100% work or not, because I have never tried to time it with that ride. But that is one idea that I have of that, is that you do that for the Hulk coaster, right? And with either the Dudley Do Ripsaw Falls or the Popeyes ride, which I'm going to say probably the Falls one, you completely retheme that ride to escape to a ride that's themed around Escape to Ozdust.
Yes.
Because you know how it's supposed to be like very like even though they didn't make it seem this way in the movie, which I thought was funny as hell, on how it's like supposed to be very like against school policy for you to go to the Ozdust ballroom. So that's your whole thing, is that you're having to escape the school and make it past the Miss Madam Marvel or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And her powers of weather, and can you make it before her powers with weather crash you back to shiz? So you have, like, at the very end for that drop of escaping, you have her right there trying to stir up like a hurricane or something.
Yeah.
And yes, that fits with Florida because that's kind of funny. But you're escaping her powers and you go flying down. And then next thing you know, you crash into the Ozzus ballroom pretty much on these log flumes.
You know what'd be
That
You know what'd be cool?
what's that?
And I know you're theming that right after that, which is fantastic. Like I'm not arguing at all with it, but like just something that kind of like gives me the vibe of what'd be cool. Because I mean, if we're calling it, down to the Ozdust Bowl or something like that, Dancing Through Life. That's the song that leads into the Ozdust Bowl, and we can
Ozzus ballroom.
Oh yeah.
You keep on calling the Ozzus bowl.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like in the movie, all right? But what if they taken a little bit of inspiration from the Beauty and the Beast ride from fucking Paris? Like having like some kind of seat to where it feels like your chair's moving along to the dance moves or whatever. And like they could have like holograms or whatever of the people dancing or animatronics would be crazy, but it's something crazy. But I know it never happened. But like
I was about to say, you're throwing a log flume ride with some other type of mechanical
no,
thing.
No. I'm not talking about
dance around.
I'm not talking about in that same ride. I was just saying, like, if there I was just saying if there was another way to put a ride, like another ride or something like that there, it'd be cool to have that kind of ride. I don't think I can beat your idea for that log fume, because that is the perfect idea for that. And I was just saying, like,
bored at shiz.
Yeah. Like it could look like the shiz from the movie, where it's just, instead of it being a pond where a single boat can pull up to the thing, that's where the queue is to get into a boat.
Yep. And then you're off on your way.
And you can
try to make it to the Ozzus ballroom.
You can have like a set or a screen or something like that on the other side to make it look like the entrance, kind of like use like the spear type technology for that room or something. But
my only thing is that I don't want it to feel 100% like you're just writing another version of Splash Mountain or Tiana's Bayou Adventure, whichever one you want to call it. I don't want it to feel 100% like that, but I mean, if you strip everything away from both rides, they're both log flume rides at the end of the day. But I think I would like to change the boats. Instead of it being a log that you're riding in the boats from Wicked whenever they arrive to shiz.
Or like little or like if they're like the small log fumes, it could just be like a little small thing that looks like the boats from Shiz.
Right, they're like kind of like the rowboats that they actually take to the Ozdust.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier too, like I didn't 100% understand how it was so like high strung on that they couldn't be there.
Right.
whenever that teacher shows up there later on, it's like, yeah, no, your friend told me that everyone was here. But you can carry on with what you're doing. I don't care. I just wanted to let you know about this, and yeah, alright, bye. It's like, okay, y'all just made it seem like this was the worst place for kids to go and that y'all were forbidden to go there. But yet, the teacher comes in, or the headmistress comes in, whatever you want to call her, and it's absolutely fine that y'all are there. It's like, what the heck? Sorry, I got a little bit off, sidetracked on that. So with Popeyes though, I would take down Popeyes. I would just concrete it over, whatever fuck you want to do, and I'd definitely put up a show building, like you were saying,
Yeah.
to be a very factual retelling of Wicked and the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Because you gotta make sure that you tell that, like how they start up whenever they enter into Oz.
Dude, it could
How they say,
it could be like how in the movie when they get to Oz is how they're doing the stage play on the story of how the Emerald City came to be. It could be something like that.
I just have it be like the retelling of Wicked and the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you just have,
That's what I'm saying. It could be that. It could be the retelling of the Wizard of Oz and Wicked.
right,
But it
you
could
have
be
like,
it could be done in that style, you know.
you could have parts of it where it's actually live actors and dancers and everything doing the songs, and then parts of the film maybe that you want to show just real quick to give us this idea.
And like when they do Defying Gravity, it could be somebody on like a little, how they do it on the Broadway show or something like that. Like
Better just have it be like they act like, so it'd be like the retelling of the Frozen story that they do at Hollywood Studios too.
Yeah.
Where like they have two storytellers telling the story or whatever, but instead of them like, if they was to show the Defying Gravity, instead of it being like this nice looking retelling like how you actually see it, have somebody like you see them get strapped up and you see the giant rope drop down and pick them up. Just have something kind of funny.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, you know, the vibes that I'm like giving off for this, and you can probably like say I'm probably wrong on it, but it's like for that humor side that you said.
Yeah.
Like think about how like in Thor Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, where they're like retelling the story, like where there's like the people on the stage retelling the stories of what happened in the previous movie, and how it's kind of goofy looking, but it looks like a stage play. Like something like that. I just think it'd be something a little funny, quirky for everybody to enjoy.
Right. So, also, because I did pour in a shit ton of shit to this already for this idea. I love how many times I just said shit. I would have different restaurants, like a sit-down restaurant where you can dine in the room where the almighty powerful Oz is at, with the animatronic version of his head that pops out. And also at this dining location, you can meet all the characters. Like you can meet Glinda, Dorothy, Elphaba, even the wizard himself. Like a little meet and greet dining experience.
Yeah,
kind of like how they do at Disney, but inside this one room. And like occasionally you'll hear that you'll have that giant animatronic or giant puppet head poke out with like the little fire going off in the background or whatever.
That little groan that like coming out of the curtains, and you're just like, ah, shit, fuck.
You just see the fire going off. It's like, dang it, again. We've been in here for like 30 minutes still waiting on our food, and that's the second time I've seen him go off.
Like, damn it, I just got on my second biscuit. Why is this going again?
The exact same lines. And then, so you got that as a food area. That's your sit-down restaurant. Your quick service food for that place is that The quick service is you stop by the Grand Lunch Hall in Shiz and
Dude,
enjoy
I was literally just
food.
thinking that.
Yep, and that's your quick service food because it's a cafeteria, so you grab and go with your food.
Yeah.
And then you obviously have to have a bar, right? Any more with anything, you need a main bar to go to. So why not come on down to the Forbidden Oz's Ballroom where you can drink and dance the day away and enjoy specialty drinks themed to Oz/Wicked, not to mention the numbers of beers on tap.
Yes, sir.
I wrote that down exactly the way I just said it. So
That's
mean,
awesome.
and that would be something that is sitting next to the escape to Oz or
Yeah, it'd be sitting right beside the
escape
water
to the escape to Ozdust, right? It's sitting pretty much. It's either going to sit right beside it or right there,
right by the exit.
on. Well, it could sit right there on that bridge where people can sit and watch. You know, where people normally watch the log flumes come down. So now instead of being able to stand there and watch it, people can go into a bar and watch people come down, enjoy some little snacks and everything, but also, have a nice drink while at the Ozdust, and that's the actual Ozdust ballroom, right? Also, it's super easy to do whenever you think about it because they've already had these different little experiences going on at Universal Studios Orlando, Hollywood. I think it was Singapore that also did a little something or another for it. And they've already had these food experiences where they've made certain foods for the Wizard of Oz. Okay. So you're literally taking all that and throwing it in here. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure you could do a lot more because that is a pretty big footprint. Yeah. But, do with it as you will. But anyway, so that touches on helping expand your idea that you was going with.
Yeah.
So I'll try to make mine a little bit quicker. Maybe. I don't know. So for me, I think I would want to take out Seuss Landing.
Yeah. And
replace it with a complete layover for Illuminations Land.
Okay, yeah.
Animation.
I was thinking of if they did something with Zeus, like Seuss's Landing. I was thinking of that.
So that way you still have a kid zone, like a kid's main area. So that way kids can have somewhere fun to go. And it's not like the DreamWorks, little park that they had just recently added where in Universal Studios, but instead this is in Islands of Adventure. You can take and copy and paste the Secret Life of Pets, right? Yeah. Is that the name of it? You can take that dark ride and put it in here, and that replaces the Cat in the Hat dark ride. Could add.
What about they could that Poseidon's Fury, right? They could take that building too, because it's right there beside it, right?
So for that area, I would change it to something completely different. I wouldn't include that in the Illuminations Land.
Okay, I was just saying they could, like, even if they wanted to, they could do that, like use that part building whatever for another ride or an experience or something.
Right, I'm trying to keep this part into something small because this is for little kids, right? Little kids with little feet. They don't like having to go from point A all the way to over here at point B that's half a mile away, pretty much, right? You want to keep everything kind of closer. My only thing with the Illumination Land is that I do not want the Minions in here at all.
No.
So, like, I'm going to have in here the Secret Life of Pets ride. I could do that. And maybe the bad guys, give them a ride or something.
Yeah.
I could see us doing something with that maybe. I'm trying to think of different Illumination projects. The only three I can think of right now are the Minions,
So
Secret Life.
I haven't. So this is the main reason I brought up the Poseidon thing, right?
Yeah,
Because Illumination does the Mario movie, right?
yeah.
Well, we're already getting Super Mario Land, and I feel like this has been brought up with Poseidon's Fury, but there's talks of them doing a Legend of Zelda movie, animated. So you could turn that Poseidon's Fury into a Legend of Zelda thing, something that's good for the kids and everybody else, like something everybody would love, kind of like a Legend of Zelda experience.
So I have heard that that's what they've talked about. But I've also heard, by the way, just a little side note, that the Zelda movie is going to be live action, not animated.
Well, I mean, either way, cool, but like they could still use that building for a Legend of Zelda thing, like maybe.
Oh yeah,
Like tell
that's
them
the reason why I wasn't even diving into that with the Illumination part, though.
yeah, right. Like that makes sense, but like either way, they could still do like like maybe they could tell the story on how Link got his sword, like the Master Sword.
Yeah,
Or like because because the Poseidon's Fury is like a whole experience thing, so make it like a whole experience thing and kind of like a show, kind of like a mixture of an interactive show like how Indiana Jones is, but not be like a behind the scenes thing, but like it's just like watching Link go through like the trials or whatever to get to the Master Sword.
I've heard that being about it. If they do anything in there, they're going to turn it into a rod. And one idea for a ride that they've talked about for it, especially with Zelda, is something that, again, this comes from Theme Park Stop, of a boat not boat ride. So you start off in a boat, and then you switch to, like, you come up to a waterfall or something, and you automatically get attached to, like, a paraglider. So, like, you know how he glides in the video game?
Yeah, yeah.
So you automatically go into that. For the rest of the ride. So it's a boat ride and a not boat ride. Boat not boat.
Right, yeah, I got you.
But also in the Illuminations Land, you could have a little area, like a little stage show based around Sing and the characters of that dressed up and be able to come out and dance on stage or whatnot.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So that's one place. And then my other one that I'm going to run with is going to be another one that has been talked about, and we just slightly teased at it, is the Simpsons ride being replaced. If you replace it with something, let's replace it with the Pokemon Snap ride.
The Pokemon Snap ride?
Pokemon Snap. So that way it's kid friendly too. And it's kind of like a shooter game, but instead of it being a shooter, you're snapping photos of Pokemon. And it can link up with your smartphone or whatever. And you have your collection. What you haven't got yet. What are some like rare or epic type of Pokemon, you know. And it's like different Pokemon each time you ride. So that way you're not seeing the exact same ones every time too.
Right, and it could give like re-rideable value to it. Like people like
it'll make you want to keep on riding it.
I gotta collect them all.
Right, pretty much. So that, and you retheme that whole little section of land right there to Pokemon in general. You can have your meet and greet with Ash and Pikachu, or occasionally different Pokemon will come out that you can take a photo with.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hell, you can make an animatronic version of some of these Pokemons because I know some of them are fucking dragons.
And some of them can be poking out of bushes, like Pika-Pee, and like different
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, and like you could have like even like to add on to the wanting to collect them all and catching them all is you have a little Pokeball that you carry around, and if you see one of these Pokemon pop up, you hit a button on your Pokeball, and it says, "Whoop, you collected it." So that's another way you could collect them.
And the thing is they can make it to where it's not guaranteed you catch it every time, like
Right.
how in like Pokemon Go, when you go to catch a Pokemon, if it shakes twice, it can pop out, but if it shakes 3 times, you got it. So you can like feel it buzz 3 times, and you know you got it.
And like it have like the occasional pop ups of because it sits around the lagoon too, right?
Yeah.
Is you could have like some of like your water based Pokemon that will pop up at random, and you got to be quick because some of them are little fish, and then sometimes you get I don't know my Pokemon.
Well, you can have like an animatronic sitting out in the middle of the lagoon, where it's just like the head of Gyarados, which is like a big ass blue dragon, like just the.
Well, that's what I was saying. I would have instead of just the head, I would have the whole thing just come up out of the water. Have a giant,
That'd be nice.
lifelike replica version, pretty much that you're looking at. That's what I'd want.
That'd be crazy.
That or maybe and like add the rock one in the ride or something, so that way you don't have every single one of these big ones.
And they can have
inside the ride.
They can have actors walk around like having Ash and a Misty and a Brock, and have all those different characters running around to take pictures with, and like Pikachu could be running around with Ash and different stuff like that.
You know what I'd have too, and this would be so cruel, but yet so amazingly like a little extra piece for that. I would have a Team Rocket out there,
Yes.
and if they interact with you, you could end up losing one of your Pokemons.
Yep. And they can
As soon as you have to touch like your Pokeball or something.
Yeah, there could be like, let me see your Pokeball, and they can tap it to like a phone or like a screen tablet they have. But,
Well, it's not even.
You have this, and that.
It's not even that they. Well, it's not even that they tell you, let me see it. It's like, hey, you have to do this if they come up to you.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And as soon as you go up to them, it's like they have a Pokeball too, and you just tap each other's Pokeball. It doesn't even, like, it could be one of, like, the water dragon that you just got. But as soon as they tap it, it could be him, or it could be your Pikachu. It could be a random one that's inside that Pokeball.
Yep.
And it picks at random which one they take from you. But they'll tell you which one they took. But you can't get it back. You gotta go back and try to get it again.
Yeah.
Or get a different one. But then at random too, you could have somebody that if they tap with a certain person, it like acts like it shocks them or something. Like it sends like an X or like a shock bolt or something to them. So that way they have to blast off again.
Yeah.
But still, you have like the occasional one or two people that had to interact with them beforehand that end up losing their Pokemon. I think that would be brutal.
That'd be crazy.
And fun too, though, at the same time. So it made you want to come back to the Pokemon section, especially if you're a hardcore fan that's trying to catch every single Pokemon.
You know, it'd be a cool thing for them to like market on like TikTok too, to have like a GoPro or something like that strapped on them somewhere, and they could be recorded them doing it. Because people love Pokemon, and that'd be something that people would love to see on TikTok.
Well, I mean, yeah, you'd always have somebody, one of the YouTubers that are going out there.
Yeah.
Always out there getting videos of it. You might have somebody that's a TikTok influencer that's also doing this and, showing it too at the same time. It's just a really cool thing, I think, that would happen. But yeah, those are my two ideas for this segment. Slater, anything on those rides?
No, man, I'm all good.
Listen, I think we've already improved Universal.
Yeah.
For that little bit that we were owners of Universal. If this was our version of Universal, I think we'd be bringing in more people. Be 100% honest with what rides we took out, with how we went about it.
Yeah.
Think we're making millions on millions of it.
All right. I do think so myself.
And like I said, guys, that wraps up our theme park edition to Far Side of the Pod. Like I said before, we're going to dive into different theme parks. We might visit Universal again later on, because there's always something that can be replaced. There's always new ideas that we could bring to the table to even add on to Epic Universe.
But like you were going to probably continue to say, but that we're not going to do just Universal. We're going to do Disney, hell, Dollywood, Lake Winnemucca, you name it. Hell, we might even talk about attractions or whatever in like Orlando or Pigeon Forge, just stuff that deals with like a theme park-esque type of vibe, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we're going to dive into, any theme park that we want to talk about. I definitely here at some point, I got two different ideas. I got one for Dollywood, 100% down pat, and I got one for a little small park near our hometown called Lake Winnemucca. I have a whole scheme for that little park to become something bigger. But y'all have to stay tuned for that, and we appreciate y'all listening if you did. If not, sorry that we didn't do our normal podcast. Things come up, life happens, and we just want to try to entertain y'all with what we can. And we've been I know I have for sure, and I think Slater has too, wanting to dive into this theme park side for a hot minute now.
Because and
we're finally getting to
a lot of our influences. Like whenever we started the podcast, we were influenced by people like the Escape podcast and different people who do talk about movies and different things like that. But we also love theme parks. We love wrestling, so we try to branch out and put everything in there. But sometimes it can be a little overbearing to talk about all that stuff in one podcast. So we figured that, especially something that just me and Ridge can do and not the other guys. I mean, if they want to hop in on it, they can. But mainly it's just going to be just me and Ridge that are interested in talking about theme parks. So we figured we could make it its own series. And it's kind of like be inspired by the people who do this, like Tim Tracker and all them great people. So hopefully, this helps us branch out to different parts of fandoms to bring them all into one, to be an ultimate fandom.
We just want to reach as many people as possible on different levels, theme park wise, movie wise, music wise, just anything and everything that we want to dive into. And who knows, we might split off even more later on down the road. I know I have something fun I want to do, but we could save that topic for later. I'm sure me and Slayer will discuss it here shortly. But we got plenty of great things to come down the pipeline, guys, and we just look forward to bringing it all to you. As far as that goes, though, that wraps up this episode of Far Side of the Pod Theme Park Edition. Yeah. I'm Ridge.
Yeah, I'm Slater.
And we'll see you real soon.